All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order, special Selectmen's meeting on Thursday, December 5th, 2019, 5 p.m., or actually 5:01. You all rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I wish we could pack all the rooms like we've packed this one today. We'll have to work on that. First order of business, open for public comment.
Dublin Bridge, how are we doing?
Dublin Bridge, this isn't supposed to be question and answer, but I'll do it anyway. Dublin Bridge, I was at a progress meeting last week. They say they'll have the bridge open for traffic by the end of December. The question of what's up in the air now is, will it be paved or will it be processed or gravel? And they're not sure, and they were going to hopefully have an update on that this week. I've not heard anything yet. But it will be open for traffic by the end of the month.
Thank you.
Mark?
I just want to say thank you and congratulations to the Board of Selectmen. I think you're going to do a great job.
I look forward to working with the people we have here. I think we've got a good crew, and I appreciate the faith that the voters have placed in all of us. Okay, other comments? Okay. Yeah, do you have any comments you want to make before we move on? Okay. Got that one done.
Well, don't worry, I have some stuff for you.
I'm sure that is. I just didn't want you to feel left out.
Okay, thank you.
All right. This is a special meeting. The only item on the agenda for action is discussion on appointments for boards and committees. The actual appointments were made Monday night at the Board of Selectmen meeting. This is just a preliminary discussion. All right, well, you should have in your packet the reappointments list. We can go down through it. I can discuss it, which ones we need to reappoint and which ones we don't. And I've got some committees that we have questions on that we need to continue. But starting at the top of the list, it's not abandoned, it's abandoned vehicle steering officer. Established by ordinance, requires a couple of people to rule on whether a vehicle is abandoned for junking purposes, basically. Currently, it's vacant. Talking with one of the previous members, they were never called for action, so I don't see this one as an urgent need to reappoint. Well, I thought it will solicit from the town committees, chairman, and also put something on the website for the unaffiliated voters that we have these two vacancies, if anyone is interested.
I think that's the way I was going to suggest on a lot of these, that we put it out to the town committees and say, hey, look, who are your interested people? There are a lot of good people that should be reappointed, but if there are still additional openings, if you guys have your names, we'd be more than happy to entertain them. I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, and I'd like to, in some places we're constrained by charter, the replacement has to be the same political party. That's not true in all cases, and my view is if it's not what's required to come from a given political party, we ought to also put something on the website open it to unaffiliated voters. They make up 44% roughly of our voting population. They ought to get a shot at equal representation on the boards. Okay, so we'll do that with abandoned vehicle. Animal control is a reappointment. I would propose reappointing Dawn Kowaleski to another 2-year term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
I'm fine with that.
I worked with her quite often in Middletown. She's a fine ACO.
Yeah, she did a good time. The one time she corralled one of my dogs, so I have no problems. Assistant Director of Public Works. Reading the charter, it's unclear whether this has to be reappointed or not, just to be on the safe side. I'd like to do it. And again, it's just a reappointment of Chris to the position. It's what he's doing now. Doesn't change. It's a title. It's not term of employment. That's not a contract issue, but yeah, technically most of you know, I'm sure, I'm the Director of Public Works, but I can have assistants and deputies as need be. but appointments by selectmen are good until 30 days after the election, they have to be redone, so. All right, on all the standing committees, starting with the Building Board of Appeals and continuing on, Joanne sent out an email yesterday or the day before to all the members for whom we have email addresses, which is pretty much all but a couple on all these boards, asking them if they were interested in reappointment and saying basically we're going to propose you for reappointment unless you indicate differently by today. To my knowledge, no one has come back. We've got a couple of resignations which we had previously, but no one has come back to resign. So I would propose in general on these, and we'll have a detailed list by Monday's Board of Selectmen meeting, that as long as someone doesn't resign, that we propose keeping, my proposal is that we keep them on as members of the board.
You know, like with your Building Board of Appeals, you have 5 members, you only have 2 on it.
Right.
That's another one we need to get, see if people are interested.
3 more, yep, and that's
It's not the most exciting board out there, but let's see if we can get some people interested involved.
yeah, yeah, and again, that's what I would propose for all the vacancies, is it's as constrained or not by the town charter. We'll get notices out to as many people, as wide an audience as we can to see if we've got interest.
Now, on your list here, if there's no number of members, does that mean it is a full board at that point? You see on building committee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, is it a 6-person board?
I'd have to double check.
Yeah,
I
that's-
believe it
that's-
is,
No,
but-
some of, like, building committee, I don't think, because they're not in the charter,
Yeah,
so I
so
don't
we
think there
can-
is a
Yeah,
maximum.
okay.
There is no, yeah, there is no number, and there was no number when we were assigned
Okay.
the Board of Selectmen's minutes.
All right. Building committee and, all right, the building committee is one that's been established by the Board of Selectmen, which means actually either today or tomorrow, depending on how you count it, this building committee ceases to exist. So there isn't a need to reappoint per se. I think we should have some discussion as to whether the building committee is even, there are 3 on here, I think. I think we should have some discussion at Monday's meeting as to whether these committees are even needed or not.
I agree.
I don't want to slow down the process we've got in town with unnecessary committees. On the other hand, if the committee provides a valuable resource, I think we should continue it.
Yeah, they could be overlapping, and I think that's one thing we need to do is make sure that each committee we do end up with has some sort of mission statement that is set, that is set in stone, so we know as a board what exactly their goals and objectives are. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I don't know, Ann, do you know, is there anything in writing on the building committee? And okay.
Yeah, so, you know, if we're not in 100% sure, you know, they're wandering down the road side to side, you know, is it a necessary committee? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think, from what I understand, it was a previous town planner, Liz Glidden suggested having it in the infrastructure committee. She preferred to bounce her ideas off a wider range of people, which isn't a bad idea, but I don't know that we need to continue to have that. So my proposal right now at this point is not to reappoint to that committee. Now, technically, we'd have to reestablish it because it's gone.
Yeah.
And by the time of our first Board of Selectmen meeting Monday, it'll be officially gone. We'll have to reestablish it and repopulate it if we want to do so. And I would suggest, at least at Monday's meeting, that we not.
Fine with
I mean, if we decide by during the month of January we should have it, and then February or January meeting we can set it up.
me. Yeah, I think that we review it as we go along, reviewing who's doing what. We may see that overlaps somewhat anyway, so we don't need it. So.
Yeah. All right, building official does not need to be reappointed at this time. Charter Revision Commission, or committee rather, again, technically they're expiring today or tomorrow. They haven't finished the last request on revision. There's no report out back from them. I would suggest reestablishing the committee on Monday and appointing the same people to it.
It's a 6-member board. And that was established by the Board of Selectmen, so there's no, it's not by choice, there's no maximum.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, continuing on, Committee on Aging, same thing, it was established by the town. You see the number of members that are on there. Again, we've reached out to all of them. There is one on here that we don't have an email for. Again, my proposal would be that we, again, continue the Committee on Aging and renew the appointments of the existing members.
Makes sense.
Director of Finance, Treasurer, again, that's been appointed, but it does not expire right now, so we're set there. Economic Development Commission, we've got 2 vacancies to fill.
We can fill that on Monday.
Yes, technically, well, I believe there's going to be 3. There's one member who needs to go, her membership needs to be brought to the Board of Selectmen because she's been absent. And so she doesn't, per the charter rules, she hasn't met the minimum attendance requirement. But so the process is to bring that to the Board of Selectmen and have her removed. She's been non-responsive to requests to submit a resignation. So that will probably open up another spot.
Okay. As we discussed, we have one candidate that's interested that we can discuss on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've got 2 candidates.
I don't know, I didn't get the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Haven't done that for you.
yeah, we've received 2. Tanya is interested and Mark Lundgren is interested.
Okay.
But again, I'd like to be able to go out with something on the website.
Yeah, oh no, that's, yeah.
I mean, I think they're 2 good candidates. I'd like to see if we have any more, particularly if we have potentially a 3rd
Yes.
vacancy and then make the appointment actually for the vacancies in January.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Gateway Commission. Again, we've reached out to the 2 people. Either one has indicated they don't want to continue, and they suggest we just reappoint.
Good people.
Continuing on Infrastructure Committee, this is another one that I question whether we really have a continuing need for that.
Yeah,
And like the Building Committee, I would suggest we let it die. It gives us some time to think about it, and if we need to reestablish it, including reappointing some or all of the same people that are on it, that's fine, but let's do some investigation on that before we just do an automatic reappointing.
I was going to suggest the same thing, because I think it just needs a little, it's a good committee, but I think if we're gonna keep it, it just needs a little more focused direction.
Yeah, and there's overlap between that and the Building Committee,
Yeah.
and planning. I'd like to eliminate as much of that as possible. Merit Service Retirement Board, this is the board that oversees the pension plan basically for the 2 fire department, or the fire department, the two companies. The 2 existing members, Randy and Rich, actually technically their term expired, neither one is interested in continuing. There are 2 other members proposed, Tom Danaher from the Haddam Neck side and Peter Brown, I believe it is, from the Haddam side. As soon as we get some letters, I would suggest Monday we just appoint them to those 2 positions. Safety Committee, again, this is one we've established, but effectively the state requires it because of OSHA and other concerns, labor concerns. And so I recommend we continue the Safety Committee. We have 1 member on there, Richard Anino, who does not want to continue. He's the fire department representative, which is we've required when we set it up. We need to solicit the ambulance association for a member from them. Currently, they don't have one there. The other people have expressed an interest in continuing, except for Tom Piazza, who's town employees. And my proposal is we just reappoint the existing members with the exception of Rich Anino, who resigned.
That sounds good. Do you see if there's anybody from the fire department that wants to take that?
I'll reach out to the departments.
And then Haddam volunteer, they should, if you find somebody.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yep.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
We also have the Veterans Memorial Building. We need a rep for that, because Rich took care of
Right,
both.
Rich took care of both. Thank you, Ann.
No.
So we'll reach out to the 3 organizations to solicit for a volunteer. Salmon River Watershed Partnership. Again, I don't know if there's a need for this or not, but I don't know that they overlap with anything or not. I imagine this is more an interface with Fish and Wildlife in the parks. I'll investigate that further and see if I can get back to you.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
see
I'm
what they actually have been doing over the past couple of years, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm not familiar with this
Yeah,
one.
if, you know, if it's been inactive and not really, why keep it on the books if we don't really need it?
You know, I know on the Haddam Neck side that overall for conservation and Haddam Neck Spirit, they've been very active, but I just don't know if it's under the,
Yeah.
this as well. I'm sure they're all tied in together. All right, one of the many I had never heard of before, the Street Naming Committee. That was established, as you can see here, by ordinance 1979, 1980 timeframe. And it's basically to prevent duplication of names of city streets. And as an ambulance driver, I greatly appreciate the effort. I ride for East Hampton, and there are just too many places where it's, which Child's Road are we talking about? And it's just bad for everybody. Membership required on that, Chris is required as Assistant Director of Public Works to be on there. Supposed to be a representative from the fire company and a representative from the ambulance service. I assume Tom was the representative from the ambulance service. I don't know if he is still currently a member or not. I will reach out to the ambulance service and see who they have to propose. Sustainability Committee, again, this is one established by the town, but it's also tied into statewide efforts, and the state encourages it, and I believe there might be more funding available from time to time because of it. I would recommend we continue it, and as I said, we've reached out to the members. No one has indicated a desire to come off the committee, and unless they do so by Monday's meeting, I would suggest just reappointing all of the members.
Yeah, they put together some good events this past year too,
Yeah.
since they formed.
Yeah, I know there's also talk about revitalizing it a little bit and having some other things going. I think it's something we should be doing and just going forward with it. Next appointment, the 2 town law firms, basically. Nick Grillo, who is with Updike, Kelly, and Spalacci, has been doing our general legal work for the last 4 years. I have met with him, I'm impressed with him, and I would recommend we continue with that law firm. Excuse me, Richard's with that. Nick Grillo is actually with, the labor attorney. Then Gary Cohen, Cuthbertson, Duo, Grillo, and thank goodness I don't have any more partners to add to that name. And, but for both attorneys, they have done a good job for the last few years. I recommend we continue them.
Well, that's up to you, who you have a relationship with.
Right.
I may debate some of that, but I'm not worth debating, so.
We could do that with any
Yeah.
attorneys that we're gonna get. So.
Yeah. I'm used to the guys that work in Middletown, they're good people, so.
And the last one is requirement to appoint a tree warden. Again, Chris Corsa has been filling that role since he's been here in his public works position, and I would recommend we just continue that appointment. All right, do we have any other comments or discussions on appointments to boards and committees?
So these are committees that only have openings, is that correct? Like, for example, Park and Rec isn't on here, is that because there's no reappointments to be made? Okay.
Yeah, these are the only reappointments that we need to make.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually have a meeting coming up, I think.
Yeah, I believe they do.
And they have actual terms.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they do so.
And the Park and Rec Authority doesn't come up until June.
And I just, once again, just stress that we really press these committees to come up with a mission statement. just so we know as a board what to expect from them.
Right. All right, anything else? All right, I think we have discussed the one item that we can discuss, it's on the agenda. Get a motion to adjourn?
No, wait a minute, there's one more bit of public comment. Isn't there another period? No.
After this one.
Shucks.
You blew your chance,
Yeah,
man, sorry.
yeah, usually there was two. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
We'll talk to you privately anyway.
Okay.
Not really, it's no big deal.
Okay, have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All right, in favor?
Aye.
All right, everyone, thank you again for attending, we are adjourned.
Thank you.